Download the free Home Advisor app.
Home Advisor.
Fifth Street Soccer, Sports Byline USA, SB Nation Radio. Big hello. We're on American Forces. Our servicemen and women are listening to us around the world. It's great to be with them, as always. And we're with you every Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. That's 4 p.m. Eastern time. And then again at 6 p.m. Pacific time. That's 9 p.m. Eastern time, right here on these same networks. You can also find us on iHeartRadio, on TuneIn, on the web at fifthstreetsports.com, and on YouTube as well. So we're everywhere for you, particularly as we come into the closing stages of the World Cup. This is the exciting time. We will be bringing you our match analysis, our value bets and picks. If you like to bet, we like to do a little segment here for you so that you can make sure that you place your money in the right place. And if you do want to do that, there's no better place to do it than at betaniesports.eu, where if you go over there right now and sign up, use the affiliate code 5th Street, you can get a 50% bonus on your deposit up to $1,000. Nick Geber here with you, along with Nick Webster. Nick, shall we get to it? The first match, France-Uruguay, earlier on in the show, we spoke a little bit about this match. You can have whatever conceptions you want about France or about Uruguay. You mentioned Uruguay fight like the devil, and France are the free-flowing open team. All of these are true, but Nick, when match day starts and the ball moves and the whistle blows and the ball moves and the crowd cheers, so much of what the pundits think and say and do goes out the window.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to agree with you, especially when the tension is ramped up to an 11 on the old volume that only goes to 10. And we're talking right now World Cup quarterfinal. This is a game that only comes around once every 4 years. And it's very hard for teams to say, you know what, we're going to put our foot down on the accelerator and we're going to give it a go come what may. No, it doesn't work like that. And I think that the teams that have the discipline and the togetherness and the mental fortitude to fight through the moments where you suffer are the teams that generally advance. And that's why in this particular game here, you know, France may be the favorites, but don't look beyond Uruguay. Please, please, please. And especially, I mean, I could see this game quite easily being very low scoring, Nick, and going beyond 90 minutes.
Well, Nick, let's talk about it. I mean, who do you think is going to score the first goal? Because we're going to do something a little different today because there's only 2 matches tomorrow. Let's talk some prop bets, Nick, just for a little bit of fun of it. Luis Suarez, plus 550 to score the first goal. Diego Godin, how about that for a surprise? Plus 2,950 to score the first goal. Also, Gomez scoring a goal at plus 320. Pogba, plus 1130. Kylian Mbappe, plus 540. And Griezmann, plus 480. There you've got most of the... Giroud at plus 340. But will we see a goal in the first 90 minutes? That's the question.
Well, you know, that bet you just mentioned on Godin is fantastic value. People, if you're hearing what Nick Geber just said, plus 2,000, that's almost 20 to 1. He is a danger at set pieces. And this is where I feel that Uruguay, they're most dangerous. So
right.
if you fancy a flyer, I mean, that would be a good one. And then I would hedge it with an Mbappe. Yeah,
Mbappe, what an exciting player he is. One of the great finds, I think, for the world in this World Cup. Yeah, breakout star of the World Cup. And, you know, Nick, there's so many other stars. This is something we'll talk about tomorrow during the show before we get to our match analysis. So many big stars have failed miserably, had epic fails on the big stage here at the World Cup. We're going to talk about that as well. So stay tuned tomorrow for that. Nick, let's look at the values here. France are plus 107 to win it in regulation. Uruguay are plus 362 to win it in regulation. The draw, though, is a very tasty plus 212, with 2 goals being the total points. Under is minus 122. Clearly, the bookies also think this will be a low-scoring game. The over is plus 107. I like the draw with you, Nick. I think the draw is very tasty at plus 212. It's a value you really can't ignore. And Uruguay in regulation at plus 362 is almost too good to be true.
Yeah, I really like the draw as well. I mean, you can see why the bookies have made France the favorites because of the fact that they scored 4 goals against Argentina. And I think they're trying to entice people in on the strength of that performance. But let's remember this Argentinian team was all over the shop. And I think you and I, if we'd strapped on some boots, we could have scored a couple against the Celeste. So I really like the draw. I think Uruguay are a very hard team to break down. And even with all the riches that France and Didier Deschamps possess, it's going to be very, very difficult. It's going to be so tight. And the longer the game goes on scoreless, the more I like Uruguay. I think if France have any designs on winning this game, as corny as it sounds, they have to score first. If they score first, that means Uruguay has to come out of this incredibly disciplined shell that they have developed. And that's when France can really take advantage. The longer it's tight, though, Uruguay.
Well, Nick Marquez says he's sitting on the over 2 goals. He's sitting on the over 2 goals. Look, if France score early or if Uruguay score early, this game is going to change its flavor and its complexion almost immediately. This is going to become a totally different match. It's going to open up enormously, and that's going to present a lot of advantages to the French team. So if they score an early goal, I'm going to favor France. If you want to do in-game betting, this is what you have to look for. Be ready with your app to put that bet in as soon as France scores, because if they score first, I like them to go through and finish it. If Uruguay score first, I'm with Nick. I like this to go to a draw. I'm tempted to see it going to a draw. I'm tempted to see that because Uruguay are so tough to break down. And these are players on Uruguay that have something to prove, that play as a cohesive unit, defensively are absolutely wicked. And as you mentioned, Nick, gritty and difficult and can really get under the skin of some of these young French players. So the other prop bet to look at here, folks, is number of cards. Right now, there's an interesting prop for cards. Over 5.5, I just saw this here, over 5.5 cards pays, and I'm sorry, you'll excuse me for being a loser and not have it ready here. I just did have it, but my computer froze up, of course, as it inevitably does. It was over 5.5 cards was the payout for this match in terms of cards. It could very well be that way. I like that bet.
Yes. I'll take that bet all day long for a number of reasons. If Uruguay take the lead, they will wind up the French team like nobody's business. And I think, as we saw with Colombia, England, I will give the English players a lot of credit. They didn't rise to the bait. I think the French, though, are a little bit more volatile than their English counterparts. They could rise to that Uruguayan bait. And of course, should Uruguay go down, well, they will use any methods possible to get themselves back in the game.
They'll bite their way through if they have to.
Yeah, I like the over in cards.
Yeah. All right. So we like the value for Godin to score first. It's a long shot, it's a flyer, but at 35-1, you're crazy not to take it. We like the value of the prop bet on over 5.5 cards. We think that's a possibility, and there's good value there. Could get chippy and nasty. We like Uruguay for the draw. Generally, that's the consensus here at plus 362. We do like, though, and to advance out of the group, Nick?
Oh, why do you have to put me on the spot like this? I'm going to have to hedge. France score first, France go through. Uruguay score first, Uruguay to go through.
All right, so France are minus 215 to go through. Uruguay plus 185. Those are your values. So you heard it from us. We gave you the picks. We gave you more than just the standard picks that we do on the show. We gave you some detailed possibilities that you can do a little hedging and have a little fun as well and pick up some of the long shots. All right, let's go to the next match, Belgium-Brazil. This is another interesting match, Nick. The question is this Brazil team for real? We know defensively they're outstanding, this Brazilian team. There's no denying that. They've let in the fewest goals of any team this tournament, despite what some pundits on some other shows might say. There is no leaky defense with Brazil. This team is for real. The question I have about Brazil is about their number one star, their talisman. If it's all about Neymar, I think Brazil are going to struggle. If they can get it together, if we can stop rolling on the floor like we've been shot by a sniper, then maybe they can do well. This Belgian team is disciplined. It's tough. They're big. They're strong. They're fast. It's going to be a tough match. But, Nick, I do like Brazil to win this match.
Well, I mean, definitely the head says Brazil. My heart says Belgium are going to give it a go. And I believe that should Belgium decide to go into this game, and we just spoke about the Uruguay-France thing, about the tension that surrounds these quarterfinal games. I think if Belgium can go into this game and put their foot down, that's when Brazil have been most vulnerable in this tournament, okay?
Yeah.
When teams have gone at them. Now, Brazil have got away with certain things, number one, due to the fact that they've got a great defense, but really number two, they've yet to come up against a striker that is just an assassin. And I believe that Belgium have a couple of rather tasty players who, when they get their opportunity in front of goal, will take that chance. And I'm talking about Lukaku, Eden Hazard, and the genius that is Kevin De Bruyne.
Right, yeah.
These guys are technicians. They are not going to let opportunities get away from them. Now, they've got to take the game by the scruff of the neck, though, and they've got to go for it from the off. If they don't and allow Brazil to settle, I think that Neymar, for all his histrionics, is playing himself back into fitness, and he is an exceptional talent that can turn a game on a dime. I actually, I think people are saying that it could be a low-scoring game because of the fact that Brazil and Belgium both haven't got going in the first half of games. But I think that changes tomorrow. I think we're in for a high-scoring game. I can't help but go with you and say that Brazil will take it, but I'm feeling a lot of pressure from Belgium because this is a group that failed in 2014 when they had a great opportunity to really move on in the tournament. They failed in Euro 2016, incredibly losing to Wales because they kind of bottled it a little bit. I think this is a team that now is ready to take the next step. I'm going to change my mind. I'm going Belgium to win with the over.
Belgium to win with the over. Interesting. I think I'm with you, Nick, because the one thing we talk about is Brazil's incredible defense and Belgium are decent defensively. But, these are world-class players on both these teams that see incredible world-class defenses day in and day out in their club teams. This isn't a surprise. This isn't, a Japan coming up against an incredible defensive team and they don't know what to do. This is really the clash of two footballing titans who can play at this level, who do play at this level. And so however good the defense is, you're right. The embarrassment of riches of attacking superstars in this game, I think will make the defensive side of the game mean less. I like the over on this. It's 2.5 at plus 103. Belgium are plus 276 to win in 90 minutes. Brazil are plus 116 to win in 90 minutes. The draw is plus 240. Belgium minus 150 to advance. Brazil minus 165 to advance. Nick, I'm going to say this is Brazil in regulation at plus 118 with the over.
All right. So which Nick are you going to go with? Yours? That's the question.
What's that?
I said our viewers and listeners, they've got to decide which Nick they want to go with.
Which Nick do you want to go?
Or Nick Belgium, NB or NB. It's very confusing. And I know if you're listening out there, Nick Webster is saying Belgium and the over.
And Nick Gieber is saying Brazil and the over to advance, also within 90 minutes. There you have it. Those are our picks. Enjoy. Make up your own mind. If you're going to gamble responsibly, please. Have a great time with it, but don't do anything silly. All right, we will be back on the air with you tomorrow. We'll be right back to wrap it up here on Fifth Street Soccer.
You're clear. Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.